David Ireland, the AIRA King. We've actually got something very special here. This is a sort of preview. If you're watching this at NAMM time, this should be the first day of NAMM. We're not going to leak this early, I promise you, but we have filmed it early. So David, what have we got here?
Well, this is the MX-1 Mix Performer. Basically, it's a mixer for anyone who has the AIRA series mainly, but also for anyone who likes to sort of unify their outboard gear with actual DAW channels.
So it's the same sort of size as the TR8.
Yeah.
Hasn't got the green strip though.
No, it doesn't, and I think this is mainly because it's supposed to be more versatile, so not exclusively for AIRA gear, but also for other outboard gear.
So what makes this sort of different from any other mixer stroke audio interface?
Well, I would say there's two main factors. Of course, there's the USB ports. So we have 4 USB ports that are made for the AIRA series. So basically, you can plug in a TR8, TB3, System 1, and a VT3, and you can get MIDI and audio through the mixer.
Oh, so it acts as like a host?
Yeah.
Without a computer?
Yeah, exactly.
And you bring those into audio channels in... Oh, right.
Yeah, so you get
cool.
everything into your Ableton or Logic, whatever you're using, just via the mixer.
That is very cool. And can you bus power, and what's the...
Yeah, we have one bus power feature, so you can plug in one TB3 or a VT3.
So they come into the USB channels.
Yeah.
Audio and MIDI comes in, and then how does the MIDI kind of communicate over that as well?
Well, you get 4 separate MIDI interfaces for the USB ports. So you can send directly to your TB3 or to your TR8, but it's named USB 1, USB 2, and so on.
Oh, that's when you hook up to the computer?
Yeah, yeah.
So there is a connection to the computer as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does that provide?
Basically gives you 18 inputs and outputs through USB.
Audio send and returns?
Yeah, and including, of course, the USB ports and for the AIRA
All right,
series.
so via the computer you can address the items that are plugged into the USB ports as separate MIDI devices as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So okay. you can send separate note sequences directly to the USB 1 or 2 or so on MIDI interface.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
the 18 channels of audio. What's the sample rate?
You got 96, 48, and 44.1.
Does 18 plus 18 at 96?
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, you can now bring down the AIRA series to 44.1 really easily with this mixer because they're actually locked to 96 kilohertz.
So the USB to the computer, is that class compliant, or does that need its own driver?
It does need its own driver,
okay.
Yeah.
But I want to come back to the other the USB host ports.
Yeah.
So they work standalone. So basically they bring in the audio and the MIDI from the TR8 and the other AIRA stuff into the mixer without the need for any other computer.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's quite brilliant. And also you get actually one bus power. So I have my TB3 connected here with just a USB cable to the mixer and nothing else.
Right.
Yeah. So I can get MIDI, audio, and even power.
Wow. Okay. So my next question is obviously going to be any chance that those can be class compliant so that we can plug in like an iPad or other devices into the host ports?
Well, they're not at the moment, but who knows?
Okay. All right. Well, that's very interesting. Right. Carry on.
Yeah, so also what makes the MX-1 quite unique is that you have this step sequencer here. So you have step sequenceable effects, or as we call them, beat effects.
Right.
You have filter, sidechain, and slicer here, and you can now sequence these on steps.
Oh, kind of like you could on the TR8.
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
Very much TR8 style.
And these effects, are they global, or what? How does that work?
No, actually they're not. That's a cool thing. So you can actually have a filter, slicer, sidechain individually on each channel. And you can have obviously also individual sequences on them as well.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Take me through the inputs, the physical inputs and outputs, and how the signal chain.
Yeah, so you have 4 big jacks and also a mini jack for stereo, and 4 USB ports and digital SPDIF.
Right.
And also 1 channel that we call a PC channel, which is basically...
So that's like the return from...
Yeah.
Okay.
For the computer.
So we've also got, I mean, each channel's also got this tone filter knob. What does that do?
Yeah, so this is also an individual setting for each channel.
Right.
So you can have a high pass filter, low pass filter, and also some different, just that are called tone patches, which essentially makes it brighter or darker, changes the character of the sound for each channel.
So we've got these mini faders. Presumably they're not motorized, right?
No, they're not motorized, but you do get an indicator for each channel that is not in the correct position.
So you'll know when the fader's not where it
Yeah.
used to be. Okay. And we've also got a master effects section, I see.
Yeah.
And presumably that's also sequenceable.
Yes, in a way. The master effects is mainly for switching on and off, but you can also actually use this, what we call the combi effects, which is basically individual steps for each effect. So you can have delay going here, filter here, and so on.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I think what we better do is let you show us what it can do, because we can talk about it, but I think it will be clearer when you kind of give us an example. So let's have a look.
Yeah, of course. So let me show you also the scene memories we have. Basically, we have 4 banks of 16 scene memories.
Right.
So you have 4 times 16 scene memories that are instantly recallable.
Right. So like in the same way that the step sequencer is used to step, it also used to patch recall, like
Exactly.
on the TR8,
yeah.
right?
And this is really useful for live mixing and just recalling your general.
So you can actually sort of recall patch memories very, very quickly.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
And it's very useful when you're doing a live mix. So basically, I can give you an example. I have my Ableton project running, also synchronizing the TB3 and the TR8, but mainly I'm using actually this one to arrange it. So
when you say sync, does this actually run the show effectively? So when you hit start on there, it starts everything going at the same time?
Yeah, because it has an internal MIDI clock, but also it can be synchronized to external devices or the other way around. So you can really choose that yourself. So what I'll do now is just switch around with my scenes and the mute buttons and so on.
Okay.
But actually my Ableton project and these devices are playing the exact same loop all the time. So now I can switch around between the different scenes. This is my intro again, and I can go to number 1, which is the full beat, like that. And I also have a little sort of breakdown on number 9. Go.
All right, so what you're doing here is muting specific channels. So these channels here...
Yeah.
Right, okay, so that's using the tone filter.
Yeah.
So that's one of the algorithms you've got there.
Yeah, exactly. So I have this tone filter knob, which has also its own setting for each channel. So I have a low pass filter, high pass filter, and so on, and I can just tweak around with this one for each channel. And this is apart from the effects, so we also have the effects on top of this.
And I notice what's happening here is these channels are actually Ableton return channels rather than analog input channels, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now I have my MX-1 set to external mixing mode. This means I'm actually streaming everything from Ableton at the moment. But, of course, my TB3 and TR8 are being input here, but they're being monitored through Ableton.
So there are different modes that you can use the mixer in. Perhaps you better explain those to us.
Yeah, exactly. So we have 3 different mixer modes. We have a mixer mode, that we call it simply, and that is basically where it works as a basic mixer. So you get everything direct, including, of course, the AIRA series and so on. We also have external mixing mode, which means this is the mode I'm using now.
Right, so all of the returns are coming from Ableton.
Yeah.
But the audio inputs are coming via the USB into Ableton and then back into channels.
Yeah, exactly.
That really.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. And
that's
there's
quite
also
complex then, yeah.
Yeah, and there's also, and of course you can process everything in Ableton or Logic, whatever you're using. So I actually have some compression and stuff going on for the TR8 and some distortion on the TB3 and so on.
Right, okay.
And the third is the surface control surface mode. This is where you just mainly use it as a MIDI controller, and you can also...
So if I just stop that, then this becomes, the whole surface just transmits MIDI CCs and what have you.
Yeah, exactly. And you have one master output for the actual DAW sound.
So it looks like this could incorporate quite nicely into a DJ setup. I know that some DJs are already using AIRA products for live performance.
Yeah, absolutely, because you have different types of effects that are very much rhythm-based, very typical DJ style effects, but also you have different fader curves.
Oh, well, for each channel?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can have the slow fade and the fast fade and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, exactly. So you can set these individually for all channels.
And how is it to use and learn?
Very, very easy. I mean, I already have a TR8 and the interface is very similar with the step sequencing and the different effects and so on. So it's very, if you know the TR8, you kind of already know this one.
One thing that I also wanted to know was the switching between the different modes. Is that something that you can do on the fly, or do you have to kind of reconnect? And
That requires a reboot, though. It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
A reboot of the hardware.
Yeah.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you were saying that the switching of scenes can be really fast. Can you just demonstrate how quickly we can switch scenes there?
Yeah, sure. So here again, here's my break. 1, 2, 3, and.
So can you actually kind of almost play them like, if you were to do it very, very fast, how fast can you go?
Well, it's not in a millisecond, but
Right,
it's
okay.
fast enough for this amount of data, I would say. Yeah.
Cool. So it looks
yeah.
like there's a lot more other stuff. We've got auxiliary sends and returns, phones. What are those inputs and outputs as well?
Yeah, so we have a AUX send and return, but we also have on the phone's knob here, you can actually monitor your selected channel individually. So you get that channel soloed, and here is the master mix. Or you can
so
do.
you've got a blend.
Yeah, you can.
So you can have, it's almost like solo in place or solo or right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we also have the master effects here, which are one of the most important
show us how does that
features.
combi sequencing work? That looked very interesting.
Yeah, so basically I have delay, filter, scatter, flanger, bit crusher, and roll effects, but they all have some great variations inside as well. Now, there's also the combi thing that you were talking about. This basically lets me sequence, put parts of the effects individually on the sequencer, so I can put delay over here, bit crusher over here, and
We
so
better
on.
have a listen, I think. That's the only way.
So I'll just play this presetting right now. So now it's playing. I'll just turn on the combi effects like this. And now you can see the different effects changing around. And I can actually hold one effect and select, okay, I want some delay over here. Yeah, I'll put it back there. Some bit crusher on this section and so on. And maybe some flanger over here and a roll at the end, which there already is. So,
Oh, right, okay, so you can, that's interesting. And,
Yeah.
and adjusting the actual parameters of those effects, what kind of, is it just a less more, it's kind of a bit like the, in the TR8 where you just have basic control of them, or what level of granularity?
yeah, you have various variations of each effect, like different types of filter, different types of scatter and so on, and the global level of all of them is controlled with this knob. So if I have the combi effect here, this will affect all of the effects with this just one knob.
So how do you change the filter type, for instance, on the master effects?
Yeah, it's very easy. I just hold the filter button and just turn the tempo dial over here. So now I have filter number 1, and yeah, we can maybe have a listen to that. So that's a high pass filter.
Right.
But here it's a low pass filter when you go on minus.
Okay.
So it's
Dual mode filter.
yeah, exactly. So you have all kinds of variations here. Here's another one with a little bit more resonance. Yeah.
And can you record these kind of, even if you're not in controller mode,
Yeah.
surface mode, can you record these kind of performances as well as MIDI, so that you could then play the whole thing back as a performance?
At this moment, it's not recorded. So this is mainly a live performance feature. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. So each channel has, you select, that's presumably the one you're editing.
Yeah.
That's then for the effects, and then that is to switch on the master effects send. It's a fixed send level, is it?
Yeah. So well, the master effects
They're
is basically an
inserts,
insert.
right,
Yeah.
okay, I got
But you can turn it on and off for each channel.
Okay.
And same thing, of course, with the BFX. Now there's also some interesting mute modes and even modes for selecting BFX and MFX. So for instance, if I hold the pan button and I press a mute button, all my channels will be on. If I hold the AUX button and press a mute button, that will be a solo switch.
Right, okay.
And so on. So there's different types of mute modes, and you can actually do this for the BFX and so on as well.
So I noticed pan, does this double as pan, or when you go into pan mode, what is it that actually changes the pan level?
If I want to change the pan, I just press pan and select the channel, and here you see the current panning of that channel.
Oh, so it's with the value number. Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
So and so on.
I see. Right, so I guess the really big question is going to be, when is this going to be available, and how much is it going to be?
Price is still to be announced, but it's probably going to be around the same price as the TR8.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And release date is somewhere around March, April.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, David, it's been a pleasure to have you previewing this. I mean, as we said before, this is very much a preview. This isn't the final production, so things may change a little bit either way. It's going to be previewed at NAMM, so we'll be able to see it in the flesh there as well, in which case things may have changed again, but I hope you've enjoyed this.
I'll be at NAMM as well, demoing this, so
we'll see
if
you
you want
again.
to be... Yeah, absolutely, so looking forward to that, and thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.